Welcome to Book Bites, Episode 2, hosted by Tutoring with Sheryl. Sit back, relax, and see what books we have in store for you. A little bit deceiving for parents and grandparents who are looking for books that their kids can read, because sometimes we think our kids can read the books that are in these early readers, and that's not necessarily always the case. But this book is very much like the last book, and it comes in and it's got supports in it. Okay. One of the things that kind of makes me wonder sometimes, I don't know if they've got any funny fonts in this one. I'm looking to see. Sometimes we'll get a funny font and the kids won't be able to read it because, yeah, this one has it. So on the word let's see here. It says Lofty hung the planter. Okay, so Lofty's really little. Okay, so they have to know that his name is Lofty. We get over here to hung with the G. That G even throws some of my older students off because they're not used to seeing that. So you're going to have to teach that G as a G and the A as having the little top on it. So I believe this is written in Helvetica print. So that can be a bit of a problem when students get started. But this would be another good book to sit down and teach your child a lot of things about reading different types of texts. And it's good because it's got a lot of supports. Any reading is good reading, so get them into a book, even if it's something like this, okay? And then this is printed by the Marvel Company, the Ab abdobooks.com, and it's World of Reading, and it's Miss Marvel. Okay, and this one is a level 1 book, and I don't know if this is written at the first grade level or not. Maybe first or second grade, and it's going to follow an action character who goes to the scene of a crime and tries to prevent something from happening. So off she goes. And it looks like maybe she's an author, but she becomes the character in the story. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a great way to get kids reading. And again, we've got that crazy G in there. So when you're picking these books out, be sure to teach that. But another great book, it looks like it's a brand new series. I got this one at the Keene Memorial Library. Other books in this series are The Avengers, Captain Marvel, Disney villains, Mickey Mouse, Spider-Man, Star Wars, a couple of others. So those would be good. And they do come in levels. This one is a level 1, which was pre-K grade 1. I have to be really honest, I don't think a pre-K can read this. I think this is more of a first, second grade book. So here's something to look out for. When a publisher says that this is a grade level 1, they're assuming that this is like end of grade level 1, not beginning of grade level 1. So if your child's in kindergarten, first grade, and they can't read it, there's a reason for that. So you can always go back to the pre-primer books because those might be easier. So, and then don't be surprised if you have a 5th grader that picks this book up because they want to read it, because they like the pictures in it. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, all reading is good reading, but we don't want to leave our 5th grade kids in that level book either. Okay, a couple more books. Now we're going to move from early readers to middle level readers. And I found this book at the Keene Memorial Library, and it is about Cam Jansen. Okay. And it's, I like these books. I think they're fun books because there's usually something that has to be solved. Something happens and something they're trying to solve it. Now, what I like about this book is everything's written in a line, and right away your brain goes, wait, that doesn't look like that's a paragraph to me. But what it does do is it gives a lot of white space, which allows the brain a little bit of thinking time, and so the kids can track along easily by following along with their finger if they need to. This is a great introduction to chapter books because this book is actually written in chapters, so it makes the kids feel like they're reading, grown-up books, which is really great. And then at the end, it asks some questions. Okay, so there's some comprehension questions. So everything is built right into the book. So if you've got a 2nd or 3rd grader that can read this book, this is a great book. This is in a series. I don't even remember how many of these were there, but there were several that were there. So this is a level 2 book. It says it's written for ages kindergarten through 2nd grade, beginning to read. Again, sometimes I think those are a little higher than what most normal kids can read. So just a little heads up there. Okay, now if you've got an well-established reader, I'm going to give a couple more suggestions in this recording because I'm going to do another recording in a little bit and I'll share some other good books for you. So we've got students that are probably like, let's say in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, and they're looking maybe for some nonfiction. These books were all fiction. They all had character. They all had plot. Now, you're going to pick this book and go, well, wait, there's a character. Well, this is a biography about Jules Verne, or fiction story about him, nonfiction story, pardon me, about him. And it's set up in chapters, and it goes through, it even gives a timeline, and it also provides a bibliography. Oh, that's nice. So we've got some features of nonfiction that are in here that they can just go through the timeline and learn about them before they even start to read. They can look at the bibliography of what resources were used. That's nice. Okay. This was put out by Who HQ. I think it's headquarters, headquarters. And I like it because it's got two types of fonts in it. It's got the, Helvetica font. And then it goes in here, and I don't know the name for this font, but it switches to maybe a little bit more friendly font for some of our students. So maybe your student can't read the other font, but they can read this font. Did you realize that, you kids sit down to read a nonfiction book, they don't have to read it from beginning to end. They can literally just open up to the table of contents and say, oh, I think I'm going to read about Captain Nemo on page 60. So they flip back to page 60 and they're going to read all about Captain Nemo and who he was. Okay, 2 more books, and then this recording will be done. This book is also put out by Who headquarters. It is a Penguin Workshop book. Okay, so it is in the nonfiction, and it is written by Sarah Fabini, and I don't know who this one was written by. This one was written by James Buckley Jr. My apologies for not mentioning the authors on those. I'll try to include that in the description. So where is Yellowstone? They had a whole bunch of these, but I thought that this looked pretty good. And I would say a strong 3rd grade level reader and up can read this. And again, it's put into chapters, and there are plenty of pictures in here to keep the kids going. And since I've been to Yellowstone and I was kind of looking through here, I was like, oh yeah, these are some of the exact same things that I saw when I went through the park. So if your child, you can't take a trip this summer, you can take a trip through a book, and then you can learn all about different people that explored the area and did paintings of it and took pictures of it and why it was set up and where it's at and how it's managed, and early people who went through there. It's a great story. There's all kinds of books in this series. It's not just about places to visit, it's also biographies about famous people, and I think Jules Verne was one of those. And the last one I'm going to end this recording with is the Wings of Fire series, written by 2T Sutherland, and this is off of the New York Best Selling series. I've not read this, but I've had a lot of students who've read this. And you can get this same series in the graphic novel section of the library. It's actually, most libraries have them kind of close. I got this one at the Oakland Public Library, and theirs were kind of close by. When I looked at this series at the larger library in Fremont, they didn't have them close by, but it's okay. Every library sets their things up separately, so you just ask the person at the circulation desk to help you, and you can get some help with that. But I'm just going to read the back of this. It says, Clay has lived his whole life under the mountain. The mud-winged dragonet knows the war is raging between the dragon tribes in the world outside, a war that he and 4 other dragonets are destined to end. According to the mysterious prophecy they've been taught, the 5 chosen dragonets were stolen from their homes while they were still in their eggs and hidden away for years, all to fulfill the prophecy. But not every dragonet wants a destiny, and when danger threatens one of their own, Clay and his friends may choose freedom over fate, leave the mountain, and set the dragon world on a course that no one could have predicted. So then on the back, it's got this. And so there's more to read. All right. So you want to think about something that your strong reader can read and be challenged with and want to read more. Check that series out. Could be a fun one for you. Now, if this is the first time that you have visited with me and want to know more about who I am and what I do, you can come on over to my website at tutoringwithsheryl.tutorbird.com. I specifically support children who struggle with their literacy in reading, writing, and spelling. You can sign up for a free meeting with me by going into the trial lesson. So this would be for new students. If you're already a student, you can click here to get a lesson. And if you are an educator looking for a coaching event, you can sign up here. You can go down to the bottom of the page a little bit further, and you can also use the contact page to get more information. So I thank you for your time. I hope that this has been helpful for you in helping to find